Hi everyone, today I'm making a quick video tutorial on how to get the most out of Mozilla Firefox browser tools when it comes to HTML and CSS development. The video is structured in few parts so that I start by showing you where to get the resource materials for this video so that you can follow along with the things that I do and you learn by doing. And then I'm gonna show you how to run the HTML files in your browser, basically Mozilla Firefox for now. Then I'm gonna move on showing how to make changes in your HTML. Then I'll show you how to make changes in your CSS and to check different parts of your styling. And then I'm gonna show you how to save all these changes that you made, because none of the changes you make in the browser get saved automatically in the files that you work from, which can be good and bad as well. But I'm gonna show you how to overcome this. So all these bits should be shown in the video description where they start from, so that you can skip over the parts that you're not interested into. First of all, click on the video description, and you should see should be a link to my GitHub repository that I'm using for this tutorial. Once you land on the page, you should click on clone or download, and you select download zip, and Firefox will pop you with the option of saving the file. Once you save the file and it's been downloaded, it's gonna show in the browser tab, and from there you can open the containing folder, and you will be able to see the zip file. I'm gonna extract this in the same place. I'm just gonna hit extract, get inside the directory, and I can see the content. For this tutorial, I'm just gonna be using mainly the index.html file and maybe the basic CSS file. So in order to run this in the browser, you can right click on the file. First you need to select it, of course. Right click on the HTML file index, and then you open with and you select Mozilla Firefox as the option. If you can't see Firefox there, you can go down and select choose another app, and from here you click on more apps. You might find your browser there. If you still can't see for some reason, you can look for another app on this PC, and then you'll find the location where you install Mozilla Firefox on your computer, and then you double click there and you select the launcher, and then you click open, and now the file will open in the browser. If you can't get to this for some reason, you can simply open your browser. You're gonna type in the search bar the following. You do file, then you do colon, triple forward slash. You put the letter of the drive you're storing your files on. In my case, it's C, and colon, and forward slash again. And as you can see, Mozilla Firefox renders the drive content, and you go into the location where you just extracted your files. So I'm gonna head over there and open the same page that I just opened. So there we go. And I'll keep both open so I can show you different things. I'm gonna start by opening the browser tools. In order to open the browser tools, you can right click on the page and select inspect element, or you can use the Windows shortcut, which is Ctrl+Shift+I. And I prefer to enlarge the browser tools by dragging them up to half of the page. If for some reason your browser tools are not showing in the same spot that my browser tools do, which is on the right hand side, you can click on triple dots in the top right corner of the browser tools and select dock to right. And you should set the same browser tool location as I have. And what we have now, we have the inspector tab selected, which shows us the HTML of our page. And as you can see, if I hover over the elements in the body, you can see they get highlighted on the page. I can achieve the same behavior by clicking on the select tag element icon on top left corner of the browser tools. And then I can go on the page and select any element that I want to edit. For example, I'll just select the square content which got highlighted, and when I select it, gets highlighted in my inspector tools. And then if I look down below in the other panel, you can see the properties of this selected item. So I can also click on highlighting all the div element, div hash element, um, div dash element, um, class. So I only have one element for this class, but I can also make changes to the properties of this class. I can remove, for example, the background color by unticking the box that's beside the background color property. So now it no longer has the black color. Um, in order to show you other bits, I'm gonna untick the box with the width so that you can see the square content has now a full width on the page. And if for some reason you can't see this panel, it might be that it's been fully dragged down, but you can drag it up. And there should be also on the right hand side another panel within this panel that will show you other properties. It might be that if you can't see it, that is like fully dragged out. You can drag it back in. I prefer again to half. And from here I can see layout aspects of the element that I've selected. There's not much to discuss about this element. I'll select the span element, which is the one with the yellow background. Once I select it, I can see different properties of this element, such that I have, for example, in the layout tab, it shows me that this element has a 20 pixel margin all around. So it's margin left, margin right, margin top, margin bottom 20. I can edit this by clicking on the size. So I can, let's say, increase the left margin, and I'll make it double or triple, or I don't know. I'll just increase it so far that you can see the changes in the browser. Also, if you scroll down, you can see the box model properties, such as the Z index, position, and display, and other bits like floating. So basically, the blue rectangle shows you the width and height of the element. The purple rectangle shows you the padding. The black rectangle shows you the border sizes, and the yellow rectangle shows you the margins for the element. Then we can move on to other tabs. The computer tab shows you different parts of the different properties, such as margin, cursor, color, background. The changes tab shows you the changes that you made to the CSS of this element. For example, as you can remember, I've increased the margin left for this element, and then I removed the width, which was 200 px initially for the div element, for div L class. You can also edit the fonts for the selected element. I can change the font family, but this normally is if I go directly in the element properties and do font family. So once I do that, I can select other families. I don't remember any for now. I'll just say not important, but um, but yeah, you get the idea. You can use Arial, I guess. Yeah, there you go. Um, and you can play with the sliders. You can increase the font as much as you like. The line height, the spacing of the letters of the word, the weight. I can make it bold. I can make it italic as well. All these things. I can check all the fonts on the page. and then animations. So I can also do other different things, such as using pseudo classes, for example, with anchor elements. I can check the pseudo classes by clicking on the colon hub in the panel below the inspector, and I can see how the selected element, the selected anchor element, changes depending on the pseudo class it uses, such that if I tick the box with hover, I can see it becomes red when somebody hover over the element. I can prove you this by hovering over the element, and you can see it becomes red. I can check how it looks like if it was visited, which makes it purple. And yep, I can also add class to this element. So I can make it, let's say, a link, and I can start adding in. I don't have any link class for now. I'm gonna change this though, as I'm gonna remove it and put link as a regular word without the dot in front, because that's the CSS identification. So I'll just add link, and then go to the style editor and edit the inline style sheet. And from here, I'll create a new class called link, and I'm just gonna show you that the element that I've added the class link to is gonna update its properties. If I change, for example, the font size, I'll make it something really big so that you can see the change. I'll make it 20 rem, and as you can see, the element changed its HTML. I'll just leave it 3 rem so that it's not too exaggerated. And again, every changes that I'm making here, they don't take effect in the actual files. I want to update the actual the files that I'm using, such that the inline style sheet, I need to go to the index.html file and update the changes that I make in there. I'm gonna show that to you a bit later on, but you can also see how the file will look like without any of the styling that you've added externally or in the head tag. So I can click on the eye icons, and you see all the styling disappear. The only thing that remains is the inline styling, which I can't remove, but I'll just show them back again. You can also add new roles. For example, I can create a new style sheet, and I'll change the background color to I'll actually change the background color of the body background color. I'll make it teal, and as you can see, those changes took place. I'm not gonna keep this, so I'm just gonna hide this styling. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the inspector tab, and I'll show you how you can make it such that the browser will output how the web page will look like on different devices. There is icon that shows you a phone and a tablet on the top right corner of the browser tools. If you click on that, previously I played a bit with this, so you can see there is an iPhone 6, 7, 8 iOS showing there, meaning that I've selected the iPhone and the landscape view. You can change the view by rotating the viewport, and you need to click on the icon to achieve that. So this is how it look like on portrait view on my iPhone, for example, and then is how it will look like on the landscape view. I can also select like a tablet, for example, iPad, and this is how it will look like on my iPad. The web page will look like this, and I can change the view as well for the iPad. So this is how it look like on landscape view, and now back on the portrait view. In order to remove this bit with the tablet and phone styling, you can just click again on the link and you'll be back to normal. And now I'm gonna show you what you can achieve and add new HTML or remove existing HTML and other bits from the HTML content. For example, I'm gonna start by right clicking on the body element and do edit as HTML. And as you can see, there is a sort of text area box that allows me to edit anything from inside the body tag element. So I can make any changes here. For example, for the section of that contains content, I could add a span, and in this span I will put some new content. So once I click outside of the text area, those changes will take place in the browser, but you can't see. You can actually see because it's here. I just got confused for a second. So there it is, the span element that I just added. And what else you can do? You can also create new nodes, such that if you go back to the body and let's select the article again, I can right click on it and create a new node. By default, it adds div element. If I double click on it, I can change the element, so I can make it a header, for example, and it will automatically update the end tag as well. So I can edit again the HTML of this content and of this header, and I'll make new header, and I'll click outside the box, and as you can see, the new header is just here. So I think I cover most of the bits. You can also delete, for example, the element that you just added. And I need to remind you that everything that we're doing here is still not taking place in the actual files. So if I go and select the other tab and hit refresh, as you can see, no changes have been done to the actual files. If you are happy to the changes that you make, you can save them. If not, then you just exit and you come back to your file, or you can simply refresh and you'll lose everything that you make changes here. So you can also duplicate a node. For example, I can duplicate this to see how it look like. And if you want to make changes, for example, to the pseudo class, again, you can do it from here as well. Don't need to go in the panel below as I've done previously. And you can also use the color picker. The color picker allows you to go on the web page and select a color that you like. For example, I'll select this yellow, and once you click on it, you will copy in your you will save the color that you just copied, and you can just do, for example, let me get to another element and I'll just add a background color. It's important that you know the color picker gets the color in hexadecimal format. So if I do a simple Control V, as you can see, the duplicate element for the article that I created is now having background color which is yellow. Okay, so now we're moving on to saving the changes that we made. For the CSS, we go back to the style editor tab, and for example, if I made changes here, I'm just gonna do some like a mock, so you can see how these changes get updated in the file. I'll just do, let's say, for div, I'll just say font size will be inherited. So if I click on save or do simple Control S, those changes get saved in your file. So that I'll just make a more obvious change. So I'll make a for RAM. So that if I click Ctrl S and then refreshing the second tab that I opened for that file, you can see those changes taking place. Anyway, if I go back to the folder location and check the basic CSS file by opening it with Notepad, I can see that the file got updated. However, it might be slightly different for CSS. For example, the inline style sheet that I've edited, if I do Ctrl S, it will ask me to save it in a new file. I don't want to do that. I just want it for index.html page. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just do Ctrl A, so select everything that I've changed in this file, do Ctrl C, and then go back to the file location. I'll open index.html file with Notepad. So I'll go to the style tag, and within here I'll just delete everything and paste over the new styling that I've added. Now to save those changes, I'll do Ctrl S, or you can do File, Save, and we'll do the same thing. And now if I go in the browser, you should see the changes. As you can see, the square content element just became full width of the page. And if I want to save the HTML that I've edited, the way I normally do, I don't really make, I don't need to edit the head element, for example, or anything from the HTML I don't need. So I'll just select the body tag and do Ctrl C, and then go back to the file, open index.html with Notepad again. I'm just gonna find the starting tag for body and the ending tag. I'm just gonna select all the content inside and paste over it, and then I'll click File, Save, or Ctrl S. Then if I go back to the second tab and refresh this, you'll see all the changes that I made. I hope you found this tutorial useful, and from now on you can boost up your development process with HTML and CSS by using Mozilla Firefox browser. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.